Welcome everybody here to EVO Japan 2020 at the Makuhari Messe here in Chiba, Japan. I am Viram, and with me.
And I'm Kuroken. And yes, we are here, EVO Japan 2020. It's finally here. We are at Makuhari Messe. Good job pronouncing that, by the way. I know it could be quite difficult.
Yeah.
And we are at a famous venue. It's where lots of events go down, like Tokyo Game Show, for example. This place is absolutely huge. It's like an airport, basically. And you could easily get lost in here. And we have a great event here today, especially for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We have a capped tournament sitting around 3,000 entrants.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy when you consider that all of the other events here are at around about 600 or so, 500,
Yep.
600. I think Tekken has a little bit more. You know, that's just kind of the magnitude of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate here in Japan. And there is a reason why we see a lot of like Umaburas, the Sumabato tournaments, they cap so quickly, is because Japan is really into this game. We're going to really get into some pools action right here, and there's going to be some crazy pools action today, I think.
I know, yep, exactly. And yeah, speaking about that cap, you know, it's very, I'd say, common for the tournaments to be capped in just a few minutes. And same thing with EVO Japan, actually. They had to cap it due to just, you know, the size of the venue. And they can, I heard that they can only let in 400 entrants at a time. Like when your pool is assigned, that's the only time you can actually enter. Then afterwards, you'll have to exit the venue. Yeah. Just because just the sheer size of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and its fan base. So I think we're going to be getting ready to go into the first match here, and we actually have a good match right off the bat. Yeah. We have Pon versus Hero.
Now I know Pon all the way back from Smash 4. He was quite the fearsome Ganondorf player even back then. He's actually one of a handful of Japanese players I personally have had the pleasure of playing against in bracket. He came to the UK one time and attended some of our locals in London, and he stormed through them. He was an absolute force to be reckoned with, so I can definitely see that carrying forth here into this game, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Ganondorf improved in a lot of ways.
Oh, definitely.
But definitely a scary character. You can't really sleep on anybody in this game, really.
And no, you actually can. That actually reminds me of when Cosmos came out to one of the Umabura tournaments, and he almost got knocked out of his first match. He lost his first match against a Zelda player. You know, you just can't sleep on anyone. And today with 3,000 players, I'm sure we're going to find some hidden bosses today, which is what I'm especially hype about. And going back to the point you were mentioning about Pon here, did great in Smash 4, but yes, Ganondorf has improved. And it's definitely a hard counter for me. It's easy to instill the fear in me, so I'm always trying to run away from Ganondorf. And in this game, that man is a monster.
Yeah, that character will absolutely play to your fear. You cannot tackle him. You can't be afraid when you tackle him, because otherwise he will just absolutely capitalize and blow you apart. But meanwhile, on the other side, we have Hero with Lucario. Now, Lucario, of course, very interesting character. His main gimmick is the fact that he has the aura mechanic, where his damage and knockback will gradually increase over time. Or, well, not over time, as he accumulates damage.
Yeah, I remember you know, everyone calling him kind of the cannon character, excuse me, glass cannon character. But in this game, I feel like he's just maybe fallen off a little bit. His presence, you know, we saw Tsu, I believe his name was, you know, take on Zero. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the term. Is it Frostbite?
Frostbite,
yes, it was Frostbite. And, you know, they were going toe-to-toe against Zero. And now I feel like Lucario has a little bit less of a presence. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just the sheer amount of characters in this game, you know.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a few things. Obviously, our main Lucario player, Tsu, he's kind of been shifting his attention a bit more towards Terry in this game as of late, as well as just the general representation of Lucario being much less prevalent. I think largely because they leveled out the aura mechanic a little bit more. You know, his it's not as strong at high percent as it was in Smash 4, but it's a little bit stronger at lower percents. But the core kit of the character at times doesn't quite feel enough to justify that. But we're getting straight into this game, of course. Game 1, first set of the day, Pon versus Hero, Final Destination.
Go right to Final Destination. Nowhere for Lucario to hide against Pon. Let's see how this plays out here.
As a character as explosively powerful as Ganondorf, this is one of the things that really hurts Lucario, but a great double team to release the pressure right there.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you have to focus on taking Lucario out as quickly as possible, but it feels like I'm not 100% sure if Ganon's going to have any trouble doing so. Already up against the ledge here. Hero at the dangerous percent.
Yeah, 100, that's already a scary situation, but that does mean he is steadily accumulating that aura. 68 now on Pon, and being stuck in the corner versus Lucario is a less than ideal position, but now the fake turn. Good stuff with that net.
Catching that up B. Getting faster as his aura increases, but still not enough there. Pon ready with that neutral there.
And the key thing so far with Pon is kind of the gap that he's trying to maintain between him and Hero. He's making sure that he's just out of range of Lucario's attacks while still being in range to hit that huge nair, hit that dash attack. The dash attack in particular doing so much work, putting Hero in disadvantage over and over again, and that was pretty much a perfect stock coming out from Pon right there.
Yeah, Hero's just, I think he's going to have to increase the distance between him and Ganondorf just a little bit there, but you know, he, of course, Lucario with his kit, he has to go in a little bit, but those dash attacks a little bit risky, going to get punished for it, 40%.
But good stuff once again with the double team, getting the KO off the top. That was a very drastically improved move from the previous game. That time, Pon tried to wait out the double team, bait it out, good up smash, not enough to get the KO just yet.
Yeah, we're already going to see getting very, very close to the end of game one.
Saw him try to go for down smash right there to catch that roll in, but again, a good double team, using them at kind of awkward times to throw Pon off his rhythm, and now that Aura Sphere at 132% doing really, really big damage. Such a hard move to kind of work around now.
Yeah, that's going to go ahead and take off the second stock there. Yeah, it seems like Pon is excellent at catching Hero when he's landing. He likes to throw out a bunch of moves there. Going to get punished for it, but Hero with the counter, being a little bit smart, as you mentioned, with the timing. But unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. Pon taking that first game over Hero.
Yeah, good stuff to Pon right there. Kind of remaining composed at the end. That was actually quite a close game by the end of it. You know, even though that Lucario was at 132%, making use of that Aura Sphere in particular when it's so big and so strong, keeping away from Ganondorf would have been key, but of course Pon just kind of brute forcing his way in with that dash attack.
Yep, exactly. And again, you know, on his way down, Hero's just going to have to watch his landings there, make sure not to throw any moves too early and not to be too predictable on his way back to the stage. But we did see, as you mentioned, Hero starting to catch up towards the end of that match. So it is, you know, it's only one game. Now we're about to start the next one. Maybe Hero could turn it around here.
Yeah, we'll have to see how he's been able to adapt to Pon's offense in particular. As we mentioned before, he was closing the gap in that game, but if Pon has really gotten a read on Hero's defensive habits, it's going to be even harder for Hero to hold on to those stocks and capitalize on that aura that he so desperately needs.
All right, wait, are we going to see a character change here from Hero? Okay, he goes back to Lucario.
And I think that's going to be a potential, relatively common thing that we do see throughout these brackets. We may see our players early on in the bracket just kind of experiment with different characters, see what they can try to achieve. But of course, going into this game 2 here on Smashville.
Going to Smashville. Has a platform, a little bit more space, I would say, for Hero to be able to run away. But Ganondorf also with his big hitboxes, still able to hit from the stage to that top platform there.
Yeah, this is a bit of a double-edged sword pick for Hero, because the smaller blast zones, the overall small stage of Smashville will make it difficult. And the unfortunate SD right there coming out from Hero, not able to make it back to the ledge.
That's right. You know, with that aura, using the up B, it kind of trajectory and the speed changes and how you control it. So it can get a little bit wild. So unfortunately, SDing their first stock. Pon only sitting at 16% this time.
Right, we're seeing quite a bit more spot dodges coming out from Pon just to avoid those force palms. He's more than happy to get hit by the little projectile hit rather than the command grab, which is a lot stronger. And now once again, doing a great job maintaining advantage right here is Pon, sharking underneath him, and a big forward smash, taking out Hero's second stock once again. A 3-1 stock lead for Pon.
Maybe Hero pulled all his cards in that first match, showed his entire hand. Now Pon has the read on him. The counter does not work this time. He goes for it again, though.
Yeah, it feels like Hero's being a little bit too scared in the way that he's playing. We see a lot of rolls coming out from him. Maybe he just doesn't quite know what to do, not able to tap into what he was able to tap into at the start of that game 1. Well, towards the end of that game 1, and now Pon is just running away with this. Good up B back onto the stage, but is it going to be enough? Not yet.
With that R, the expanded smash attacks, it seems like we got, well, before I could even finish that sentence, Pon 3-stocking Hero, taking it 2-0 for the first match here at EVO Japan 2020 on stream. Congratulations, Pon. Hero, I believe you're still in it. Good luck for the rest of the bracket.
Yeah, of course, here at EVO Japan 2020, we are running double elimination pools. I believe the top 3 players of each pool will be progressing into the round 2 stage. Well, 1 from winners and 2 in losers going forward. But yes, as you mentioned, Hero still has a chance to try to make it through to the next stage, and that's where the action's really going to kick up. But of course, we still have a lot of round 1 pools to go, and the next set we have coming up shall be, as you mentioned before, between Kazunoko and Colette.
You know, you might have seen on Twitch a lot of content creators, a lot of professionals from other fighting games. There's been a lot of cross-pollination as of late. And we saw some Japanese professional fighting game players from the likes of Dragon Ball taking on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And they actually had a little get-together where, you know, they had these top professional players playing Smash Bros. Together in a small tournament. And we have Kazunoko here. I believe he's the Dragon Ball Tour World Champion, I believe. Well, was it last year?
I believe so. Yes, that was like a condensed period in Dragon Ball Fighters where Kazunoko was an absolute dominant force. He seemed almost untouchable for a while, and then of course stuff kind of changed. You know, we're kind of back into the dynamic where you see like a lot of Sonic Fox at top level, of course Goichi, but again, he is definitely a real talent when it comes to the FGC. He is such an incredible player at the games that he plays. Meanwhile, of course, Colette, I'm not quite sure about who this lovely person is, but this is the exact kind of stage where regardless of who you are, you could potentially make a splash. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Japan was loaded with all sorts of hidden bosses all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with 3,000 entrants. We could see anyone spring up from the depths. A lot of them, of course, as you guys may know, Japan is not only Tokyo. We do have different circuits all around Japan. We have Okinawa, Hokkaido, we have Kyushu as well, and Osaka. So we could see a lot of those players that you might not normally see on streams or at majors make it out here to EVO Japan today. All right, looks like we got the players getting ready. Kazunoko, you know, watching these top players, it was really interesting to see how quickly they were able to get used to such a different fighting game, such as Smash Brothers, and the way that they use the buttons was really interesting. They were able to, you know, utilize every single button. That's where a lot of players, especially beginner players, they'll kind of use the smash attacks quite often, but it was interesting to see how they could utilize all the different buttons very quickly and should I say optimally? I think that was the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Just having those fundamentals carry over from various other fighting games, even though the mechanics and the systems in Smash are very different to a lot of other fighting games, there's still a lot of transferable skills between all sorts of fighting games. Of course, spacing, knowing when to be patient, knowing which of your attacks are the low committal ones that you want to primarily focus your gameplay on so that you can capitalize for bigger opportunities, all those kind of levels of mental conditioning. They're all transferable skills that you'll see from these top level players across various fighting games.
Exactly. I think you know, we also saw Zachary. I think everyone's familiar with Zachary, and he's been coming out to some Tekken events as well, and a lot of the players there have already noticed that his game sense, his logic when it comes to approaching players and the spacing, his adaptability has really transferred to Tekken as well. And I think what these pro players utilize, I don't see a lot of pro players utilize. Maybe not pro players, but maybe, I guess, the general mass of Smash players is walking. They walk a lot, which is very interesting. Maybe we'll see Kazunoko do that here just to get that micro spacing to win the different exchanges that might occur in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, they're willing to play that kind of slower-paced game because they're more familiar with those sorts of games that generally operate at a slower pace, that use those more careful, that implement those more careful footsies. You know, I can imagine particularly Street Fighter players being very much like this. Maybe even like Guilty Gear players. Probably less so like Versus players. They probably want the more action-packed.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, just the cross-ups, right?
But yeah, there's so many different ways to kind of approach this game, and so many different sorts of players. It's always so fascinating to see different sorts of minds enter this game and try to put their own spin on things.
What was particularly interesting for myself to see what these players, what they were going through when they were learning this game, was actually when they were off stage, because off stage is something that doesn't occur as much. Well, I would say at all in other fighting games. So, of course, we saw them SD a lot, but as they were learning the different clever ways that they were, returning back to the advantage state or back to neutral was very, very interesting.
Yeah. The closest thing that I can compare being off stage to is, even then, less off stage and more being at the ledge is comparable to being in the corner in a fighting game. That's obviously the kind of the position where you have the least advantage. You don't have any room to move back. You don't have much space to generally breathe. And your options in general are a lot more limited. Of course, in this game, a lot of the time you're going to want to try to jump out the corner because you can't run through people. But in doing so, you have that mix-up situation where it's like, okay, they're going to try and read the jump. Maybe I'll take this opportunity to get under them. Or they're going to try to block the way, and they're able to intercept any kind of jump. So lots of things to think about there.
Or you could just be like me, just roll. Just roll in. Like, that's the best thing. Roll into ledge.
It's an effective strategy. It can work at times, because obviously you have such an abundance of options that it's like, it's hard to take into account everything, but it all comes down to how and when you use those options, really.
Yeah, and just seeing, the flexibility of movement in this game is not like any other fighting game right now on the market. So you were mentioning all those different options, and we see a lot of players, some of them, actually, I would say, would just go back off the stage, reset the situation, use the ledge roll, use the ledge get up, the ledge jump, just to mix up their opponents. You just never know. You're just going to have to go to the lab and train those ledge get up options. All right, looks like I think the JP side is ready to go. Looks like we're going to go ahead and select our characters here. Kazunoko going for Fox. Okay, good
Fox,
choice.
Yeah, generally a very excellent choice. Very strong character in this game, as he is in almost every Smash game. He was a little bit weaker in Brawl in general, but even then, the character wasn't particularly terrible. It's just that when you're in a game with characters like Meta Knight and Ice Climbers and Brawl Olimar and Diddy Kong, it's a bit hard to kind of keep up. But I think particularly in Japan, back in the Brawl days, Fox was actually quite a noteworthy presence in Japan. I think he broke into like top 10 for Brawl in Japan towards the end. But this is not Smash Bros. Brawl. This is Ultimate, and Fox is still the ever-present, ever-powerful character that he's always been. He's still very quick, very combo-heavy, has a lot of great confirms. He's got the nair into up smash to get those KOs. Very fragile, of course. He is like the very embodiment of a glass cannon character. A lot of speed, a lot of power, but very frail both on the stage and off if you get into those disadvantageous positions.
This might be going back to Kazunoko's other FG roots, and maybe he prefers the kind of rush-down characters as he's been playing Dragon Ball FighterZ. That's a very rush-down heavy game. He might feel like that's a little bit more comfortable play style for him.
Yeah.
And, just go in, mix up the opponent, poke him from a maximum range with that forward tilt, just get out of there when you need to with the lasers, stack up that damage, go back in when you need to. And it looks like they're going to be preparing just a little bit more. But Fox, I have to say, on the Japanese version, he does have a voice buff. My man gets the voice buff. The space animals and even Mewtwo, I think you might be familiar. He does have a voice in the Japanese version, and it is god tier. It's godlike.
Yeah,
I have to throw that out there.
Those victory quotes in Japanese, it's one of those things where you really wish they kept them in English and the other languages as well, but alas, purely Japanese. And of course, can't mention Japanese without including the Fire Emblem characters as well. Marth and Roy having their Japanese voices. Ike as well, I believe. Actually, does Ike have a separate Japanese voice?
Yes, I believe, yes. Fighting for his friends. I believe he has the same exact quotes loosely in the Japanese version as well. We got a couple of name changes in the Japanese roster. Shizue probably being my favorite. You know, Isabelle the Destroyer, everyone's favorite character online.
Who else? Of course, the Murabito.
Murabito, the villager.
All the Pokemon, a lot of the Pokemon names different. Zenigame, Fushigi-So, Lizardon, Gaogaien.
Gaogaien. Yeah, the Pokemon names, a lot of them are just completely different, except for the legendaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for the legendaries. Maybe, I believe the original 151, the legendaries had a different name, though. Like Frieza, for example, I believe was Articuno. So, you know, if you try to, you know, talk to anyone here about Pokemon, it's going to be very difficult to talk about your favorite Pokemon. There's just too many now. After Sword and Shield.
So many.
So, we have quite the roster here. What would you say was your favorite character reveal trailer?
Ooh.
I think
okay. So, for Brawl, it was Sonic.
Okay.
That blew my mind.
Yeah, I remember all the jokes in the magazines, like, oh, you could get Sonic in Melee. I remember.
And then he actually became a thing. For Smash 4, it was Shulk.
Okay, Shulk.
For Ultimate, ooh, it's tough. Oh, I can't forget to mention Cloud as well.
Oh,
Cloud's
Cloud.
reveal
There
was
you go.
Incredible. And then for this game, it's probably Joker.
It's Joker. Okay.
Just that was so out of left field. Just coming out in the Game Awards, it's like, oh, is this going to be like more Persona 5 content? And he flips the invite. It's like, oh my God, it's Joker in Smash.
I remember that. After seeing that, I just didn't know. I'm like, no, they played the strongest card right away. I just don't know if they could ever beat that. And then we saw Hero as well from Dragon Quest. As you guys may know, Dragon Quest is immensely popular here in Japan. It is insane here in Japan. So Japan definitely popped off when they saw Hero. I did as well. Joker and Hero, they got to be about the same level for me. I didn't even think it was possible. And for Smash 4, I would definitely say Cloud. Big JRPG fan here. Have to say Cloud. I didn't even think it was possible. Thank you, Sakurai. And he was very, very strong as well.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I know here in Japan, back in Smash 4, there were so many Cloud players running around. That character was played at such a high level in Japan, and there was just so many of them, I remember. I think Masashi, of course, played Cloud. Obviously, Komori Kiri was probably like the premier Cloud in Smash 4. And there's just Masha, I believe. There's a bunch of other Cloud players that were just very high level.
Yeah, it's... You know, I think it goes back to Pocket Cloud. I think everyone had that Cloud as well, and I'm guilty of the same thing. When I went to Mibara, it's like, you know what, I can't win with Rob. I'm just going to pull out the Cloud. Make it to the finals in the bracket. Unfortunately, drowned there, but Cloud, thank you very much. Carrying me.
Carrying players as far as they could go, and then, of course, you had Bayonetta as well, an even more potent presence. Both those characters... you see a lot less of them in this game. They're nowhere near as powerful as they were back in Smash 4. But, you know, not exactly impossible to win with. They still have their representatives here and there. I think Masashi still does play some Cloud alongside Lucina, I want to say.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. But, yeah, and that's just kind of a testament to how overall well-balanced this roster is. Even the characters on the weaker end are capable of dealing some real damage. And in fact, we saw that in the last set, of course, Pon with the Ganondorf.
Yes.
Ganon, even though he was made better, for a lot of players, he's still among the worst in the game just because, you know, you get him off stage, he's so vulnerable. He has a really hard time relieving pressure, stuff like that. But yeah, this roster it's crazy. It's crazy just how much there is for a roster this size.
Yes.
To have so many characters that are able to compete. Even the Miis are here. The Miis are able to finally deal some damage in bracket.
Finally.
They've been free.
Yeah, you know, speaking of the Miis, I'm not really sure I've actually seen them. There's a few, you know, Mii players that I've seen in the locals and such, but I don't know if they've like really broken out, especially the Mii fighter after getting the up B nerfed.
Yeah.
Was it the kick? Was that up B or was that side B? I believe it was up B.
I think up B. Up B is the axe kick.
Yes.
Because they nerfed the whole suicide thing with a lot of that stuff.
But with just, yeah, as you were mentioning, this roster this size is incredible. A celebration of gaming, as Sakurai was saying. And unfortunately, I also feel like we also have the problem of choosing a main character.
It is hard. Even at the top level play, you know, you see pretty much every pro player is playing multiple characters. There aren't too many solo mains. And even the players that are like close to a solo main, it's like they're not quite fully solo main. They do still have that pocket. But I believe we're going to be taking a quick break just to cover some technical issues. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the EVO Japan 2020 Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Stage. Thank you very much for your patience. We just went ahead and fixed some technical issues, made sure the players were absolutely comfortable, and we're back for some more Super Smash Bros. Action. Right now we got Kazunoko here on the first 1P side, and we have Colette here on the 2P side with Snake.
Yeah, they're getting straight into the thick of things. Kazunoko currently at the deficit, and Snake is definitely one of those characters that you really need to know how to fight. Definitely not a very intuitive fighter to deal with. He's got all these grenades, he's got the C4, lots of explosives they have to mind out for, and of course, that deadly up tilt.
Yeah, and a lot of Snake players have the movement down, a lot of that orthodox movement, which Kazunoko might not be used to. So as saw there, already with the up tilt, taking that first stock. Kazunoko just might be a little bit more familiar with the rush down, but with Snake, you're going to have to learn how to time your approaches.
Yeah. We see Kazunoko using a lot of those big double jumps, that big full hop, that fast full hop from Fox. Really, really good. But it's a little bit difficult for Fox to kind of work around certain things. He doesn't want to commit too hard to his approaches, as you mentioned, and already that second stop from Kazunoko being up tilted away.
Let's see if he can relieve some of the pressure here. Yeah, Kazunoko's gonna have to watch this approach. A lot of moves here from the air. At all the wrong times, rolling right into the reach of Colette here.
Yeah, it almost feels like Kazunoko doesn't quite have a full feel for the necessary spacing that he needs to operate around Snake. He doesn't quite know about when to whiff punish, when to kind of press his advantage.
It seems like also unaware of the hitbox of the C4 as well. Also with the down throw traps there. Able to take one stock off, but let's see if he's able to climb this huge mountain here.
Yeah, this is a real big deficit. Good high recovery right there, but Colette, again, great stuff with the up tilt. He noticed that Kazunoko was going for a lot of these close range jumps, so he was more than happy to just anti-air him in those situations.
Now going back to Kazunoko and his rush down play style, it's with Snake, you have to time your approaches, but with that is the mental fortitude to do so. And fighting Snake could be really trying on one's patience, something that personally I'm very bad at, so I could definitely feel the same from Kazunoko, just wanting to get in there, you know, feeling that deficit growing bigger and bigger is very stressful.
Yeah. That is definitely one of the hardest aspects to deal with when fighting against Snake, knowing that because his damage output is so high and because he gets so much reward off grenades, that snowball potential is so real, and just the huge knockback behind moves like up tilt, like that Nikita. His ways to kill are very solid and consistent. So we're seeing Colette this time switch to the Terry, maybe just kind of a comfort thing. Maybe he just feels like he wants to have both those characters warm, especially after a strong victory like that. But Kazunoko will probably take what he can get.
I think I'm going to play a little bit of the devil's advocate here, and say that maybe Colette was actually worrying that Kazunoko would get the download, be able to adapt. You know, adaptability is the name of the game. So maybe he's just going to go ahead and play Terry, mix up things, his playstyle as well, make sure that Kazunoko does not get the beat on him.
There's also, of course, the potential that maybe he didn't feel comfortable playing Snake on this stage on Pokemon Stadium 2, so maybe he feels a bit more comfortable with the Terry here, which is interesting when you consider Terry is not actually the best at navigating the stage, just because his full hop doesn't reach the platforms. He has to kind of double jump if he wants to challenge there. So if Kazunoko is aware of that, he can focus on playing around the platforms, but doesn't seem like he really feels like he wants and needs to do that.
And we can already see a much better matchup here for Kazunoko. It's neck and neck.
Yeah,
Kazunoko spacing correctly.
Yeah, now that he knows that he's actually the one that can play at that range, almost losing that stock to the Buster Wolf. Ooh, scary recovery on stage.
Nice use of the down B there, just to get to the right height, stall in his recovery, snap into the ledge here. Colette needs a little bit of space of his own, so he's going to get side smash for his troubles, losing that first stock and getting rid of that buff.
Yeah, we kind of see the position that Kazunoko is primarily trying to play. He's playing under the platforms, around the platforms, and primarily center stage. Now, of course, he has the ledge trap situation. Good trade for Colette right there. Great use of that. I believe that was the spot dodge attack or the up tilt just to trade with Kazunoko right there. And now he has the lead after one short combo. Terry's damage output is rather ludicrous.
Right back to Eddie. Neutral. We're going to see a little bit of Colette falling off the stage there. No, that's unfortunate. SD not able to get back up to the top there.
Yeah, Terry not having the best recovery in the world.
No.
Although against characters like Fox, he does have a good few options. Great use of the Nair right there. Just sniping out all those jumps from Colette. Gets the lock, but doesn't fully capitalize.
I'm really liking the way that Kazunoko is covering the options of Colette's approach. It seems like the only time that Colette is able to get any damage on Kazunoko is when he's kind of whiffing something or he makes a mistake on a read.
Kazunoko still hanging into that second stock.
Throwing out the options. Tries to maybe read a roll-up there. Using the down B. We don't really see that reflector that often.
Good use of the crack shoot right there. Just kind of anti-air him. Still able to make it back, even dipping that far down.
That far down. Thank you, Magnet Hands. Kazunoko saving that second stock. And doing the down smash. That's not going to be it yet. The crack shoot for that horizontal recovery. Making it back to the stage. But I think that's going to seal the deal there. Kazunoko taking game 2.
Good call out on that ledge jump right there with the forward smash. And I just think in that particular matchup, Kazunoko felt very, very comfortable with the way that he was just able to apply pressure to Terry's shield. There was great use of the full hop nairs. He was making really smart use of where he was jumping. And I think that just overall played very much in his favor throughout that match. I think Colette is going to go back to the Snake. Yes, he is.
Yes.
All right, now that both players have a game on the board, they've kind of gotten used to how both of them play. Be interesting to see how this game 3 plays out.
Seems like that Terry pick did not work out for Colette, but let's see if Kazunoko has developed some patience from that set. See if he's learned a little bit of the timings from the first game there. No, but he's going to have to learn to watch out for that C4. That hitbox is deceiving.
Yeah,
it's quite big.
It's very, very big. There are quite a few platforms where it kind of hits below the platform. Very, very hard to work around, but that is the position that Kazunoko wants to be in. Goes for the back air, not realizing that, of course, that when you commit outside of the Cypher, you can't get back. And Colette losing that first stock. Another SD. Shield poking past the shield with the jabs.
There we go. Here comes the Nikita missile, though. Using the reflector. He's going to be able to make it back.
Good tech.
Nice tech.
Brute forces his way out with that back air. Colette keeping this nice and even.
Definitely a trade for Colette there. Like Kazunoko staying right on top of Colette here, not letting him breathe. A lot of spot dodges here, not working out for Colette, stuffing out all the options in the air.
Yeah, it definitely feels like now Kazunoko has a real feeling, a real kind of sense of where he needs to be around Colette's defenses. He's not really allowing him any breathing room, as you said, the way that he's applying pressure with these jumps, with this movement, with these nairs in particular. Great use of the illusion and a fantastic up air to close out that second stock from Colette. Last stock potentially on his winner's side.
Colette, that SD may cost him his first game, potentially first game of EVO Japan 2020 here. Let's see if he's able to make it back here. Maybe it needs a little bit more of that spacing. Go back. You need to set the tempo. Kazunoko's completely setting the tempo right now. Everything is in his favor.
Good ledge sequence by Colette right there, just covering a lot of options in rather unorthodox ways, even though Kazunoko tried his best to get around them. He's still alive just about. I think the key adaptation that Kazunoko's made throughout the set is that he's knowing when to, he knows when to commit and when to back away. When he sees Colette kind of pressing these buttons, just kind of setting up his offense, he slowly backs away and then looks for that opening. Pretty much a full stock lead.
Full stock here. It's not looking good for Colette here. I'm not sure exactly what that was. Maybe trying to go for a wave bounce, wave bounce. Ends up falling off the stage there, but still has a chance to come back here. Already 26% built on Kazunoko off the ledge. Tried to snipe him there with the down smash. Didn't work out, but it looks like now the tempo's back in Colette's favor.
Yeah.
Slowing down the game just a bit.
Gradually closing this gap. The roll back, called out by the back air. And Kazunoko will take it 2-1 over Colette, allowing him to move forward in the winner's side of bracket here at EVO Japan 2020.
Kazunoko taking it over Colette. And it looked like actually it was going to be kind of a wash after that first, Snake game. It didn't seem like he knew the matchup at all, the timings. It kind of looked like it might have been his first time playing against Snake. But that quick adaptability, learning when to go in, and all the pressure, learning that Colette loved to get out of pressure by jumping out, using a lot of the up B to get out of those situations, definitely didn't pay off for him in the end.
Yeah, and that's just, as you mentioned, that adaptability coming out from Kazunoko, that is something so prominent among top-level players of other games. Their ability to kind of recognize a habit, recognize patterns in the gameplay, and just quickly adjust their own gameplay to make up for that. But next up, we have the #1 player in Japan, currently ranked 7th on the Panda Global World Rankings. We have Zachary, and of course, his opponent,
Fudebako. Yes, we got game with Zachary already. This is the 3rd game that we're having on stream, and already Zachary is on the stream. So it's going to be a great EVO. I think this, even though we have 3,000 participants here, these brackets are just going to be absolutely stacked here.
Yeah. Of course, Zachary, as I mentioned, essentially the current Titan of Japan, incredibly consistent, incredibly strong player, and one of those multi-character specialists. He has the Rob, he's got Game & Watch, he has the Wolf, he's got Mario, he's got Pokemon, he's got all sorts of characters. I mean, you see it at the various local events throughout Japan. It feels like he's got a new character each week.
Yeah, I think that's one of the interesting points about Zachary as well. And we actually did a short interview with him about why he's choosing these characters. And his answer was, because I feel like it. That was his answer. Like, I just felt like it. And we actually saw him basically stomp Kevo, which is a tournament in Osaka. It happens on Golden Week. And there, when he had the interview, he just said, I'm deciding I'm going to play this character, and I'm going to win today.
Yeah.
So
and
definitely feeling himself, confident.
Of course, one of his other main characters is that Joker, a real force to be reckoned with. Going into game 1, we have another Snake, this time on Fudebako's side.
It looks like it might be a button check here.
All right, so Joker versus Snake is quite an interesting dynamic between these two characters. Another instance where Joker can kind of play a very slow, non-committal game versus the defense, the grenades, and all that stuff that Snake tries to set up in his face. He also has the Rebel's Guard, the down special that you can use versus the grenades, as well as Snake's other moves, and that will fill up his Arsene, the Rebellion gauge, very, very quickly.
Let's see if that's going to be a tactic that Zachary will actually use here. If we're going to see a lot of those grenades, he just, purposely run into the grenades with the Rebel's Guard, try to get that Arsene. As we know, very problematic if you're at any percent, I would say, if you are fighting Arsene.
Yeah. Arsene is an absolute menace to deal with.
All right, let's see. Where are we going to go? Okay,
Town and
City. All right, looks like Zachary is staying with the Joker and Fudebako with the Snake. Wonder if we're going to see any of the other characters today that Zachary has in his pocket at EVO Japan. Right now, Town and City. We got Fudebako on the left here, playing a Snake. Already not giving Fudebako any room to breathe is Zachary. Picking up the grenade, throwing it back. A tactic that I actually don't see quite that often.
And you're seeing a lot of the side special, the AHA, coming out from Zachary, just to kind of control that mid-range space and prevent Fudebako from setting up his grenade. But Fudebako doing a great job tacking on a ton of damage to Zachary at the moment. Scary situation, though.
What's gonna happen here? No, not able to get back to the stage. Careful there.
Oh, Senfair, such a brutally powerful move. Good air dodge right there just to avoid the edge guard.
Was a trap here, and he gets him on the roll forward with the up tilt. Taking us first stock from Zachary.
Very, very nice. And now, of course, Joker are senless, but still very, very scary. You have to watch out for that falling forward air. In particular, that is kind of his kill con at the moment. That's the move that he needs to land in order to get this KO. Either that or an errant back air or an up air near the top. There we go. There's the back air. Zachary keeping this nice and close.
I'm really liking the approach of Fudebako, his movement from further away, keeping that range, and also going to the very, very top of the stage. We do have the magnifying glass there, but it's very difficult to predict which side Snake will be landing, so I'm really liking that he's mixing that up there. Keeping Zachary guessing, but of course he's got Arsene now, going to have to be a little more careful.
It's interesting, even with Arsene, you know, you think a lot of Joker players probably feel like they need to go on the aggressive, but Zachary taking his time. What a confirm right there. The drag down from the up air into the up smash just to maximize that damage.
On the platform, too, just to get that extra little bit of height that he needed. Oh,
good
no.
mash out of the grab. He needed that mash so that the up smash could hit.
Great confirm here. What's the string?
Wow,
45%.
Very, very nice. And stage control as well. Zachary he's got the momentum that he needs. Good use of the grappling hook too.
Oh, this is quickly slipping in Zachary's favor here. Interesting that Fudebako did not go for any options there while returning to the stage. What are we going to see here?
I think just in that situation, he was just scared of what Zachary could do in that close quarter situation. He chose not to commit to anything as a result. And Zachary able to capitalize, maintain that advantage, and take game one in a emphatic fashion. Very nice.
Zachary mixing it up there. Every single time Fudebako would go to the top of the stage and descend, Zachary would give chase, but that time he just stayed on the ground, maybe baited a couple options, waiting for it, and closing it out with that up smash. Very smart.
Locking in the same characters once again. Game 2. We're going to see a run back to Town and City. No, this time Pokemon Stadium 2 is our stage of choice. And despite what I mentioned before, we're not really seeing that much of the Rebels guard come out from Zachary. Instead, he's just trying to play at that range around the grenades, around the various projectiles, make use of that AHA, and then find openings like that to get the damage where he needs to.
Yeah, I see that Zachary is getting a lot of damage on these grabs. You know, tomahawk grabs just going in. Fudebako is going to have to watch the timings of his special moves to ensure that he's not vulnerable.
Yeah.
To the approach.
It's very, very difficult versus a character like Joker to do that sometimes, just because that fast fall speed of his makes it really ambiguous to figure out what he's going to do. He has pretty fast aerials. You can't quite react to everything that he's going to do, so a lot of it is a guessing game. And when you're piloting a character like this, as a player of Zachary's caliber, it becomes especially difficult to work around as the opponent. Very, very nice catch of that up air. Burst stock gone.
You know, Fudebako also choosing to go in a lot of the time, but he'll kind of throw a grenade and he'll try to roll in to go underneath Joker, maybe reach the other side of the stage. But it seems like it's not playing out in his favor here. Another drag down.
Yeah, this up air is doing so much work for Zachary, maximizing the damage potential thanks to those platforms. Finally, Fudebako relieves some pressure, but again, he's not able to maintain the advantage versus this titan known as Zachary.
There you go. We go see the sidestep there. Goes all the way down for that back air. We're going to see here, able to make it back. Fudebako using the air dodge there to kind of mix up his landing, his return to the stage. Hanging on for dear life here.
Only the second stop as Zachary is just completely in control at the moment. Great neutral air right there, just to relieve a bit of the pressure. But again, even upon resetting to neutral, it feels like Fudebako is having a little bit of a hard time gaining any substantial advantage. But a good trade right there. Well, even stocks both sides, really. At the very least, that trade allowed him to nullify Arsene, who would just arrive to the scene. So that prevented Zachary from being able to snowball that any further. Going deep for that that forward air.
He really wanted it. He went all the way down there. Doesn't work out for him. I'm seeing Fudebako actually use a grenade and then just approach. So we're seeing that kind of tactic a lot. So I think Zachary really has the beat on that. It's really not working out. Fudebako going to have to mix things up here.
Who tries to go for the Tetracon right there to counter the Cypher, but unfortunately was not able to do it. Good stuff.
Does it drag down.
Very, very nice. The down air into another drag down up air, finishing it off with the up smash, and that'll be Zachary taking out with a clean 2-0.
Picking his bag and just getting out of it. Yep, that up air, the drag down, just the amount of damage that he was able to accumulate off of those strings, and that one move alone was just outstanding.
Yeah, that's definitely kind of a lot of what you need to do in terms of maximizing Joker's damage potential. But we will soon be having yet another break, just to kind of get everything under control. So, all right. So what else? We will have another really exciting set coming up very soon. With a player that I know a lot of you guys at home will know. He was a particularly strong player in Smash 4, trying to find his footing back again here in Ultimate. He did recently place a respectable 17th at, I believe, Let's Make Big Moves. Coming up next will be Anti, but I believe we will soon be having a break once our fellows on the Japanese stream are ready to go.
Actually, on that note, I think Anti is finding himself coming back to Japan quite often. And, you know, I'm actually confused myself. Does he live in Japan? It seems like he's always here.
Yeah, I mean...
He's a big fan of Japan.
Yeah, I mean, I and plenty of other people in the stream probably follow this man on Instagram. He's always tweeting from Shibuya and various other places in Japan. It's like, where are you at any given time? He's all over the place. He's always been quite the traveler, very well-traveled individual. All right, so we are finally now ready for the break. Make sure to stay tuned for even more Super Smash Comeback, everybody. Here at EVO Japan 2020, we are back underway with more Smash Ultimate pools. And up next, of course, as I mentioned before, we have Anti, T1 Anti coming up against I Will.
Yep.
Who is a Mewtwo player, and it seems like Anti has locked in the Snake this time. We know, of course, Anti is a bit of a multi-character specialist. We saw him early on using Lucario. Since then, he's been using a lot less of that character and been focusing a bit more on, I believe, Mario, Snake, and Meta Knight. I want to say are his three main characters at the moment. But, of course, throughout this entire bracket, we'll see what he has to bring to the table.
I have to say, I do miss the Mario, the anti-Mario. You know, I think very famously known for the anti, the up B, the up air to up B.
A legendary moment.
Yes,
in Smash
the
4.
legendary moment. But looks like, yep, he's got the Snake locked in. Looks like they're going to be going to Pokemon Stadium. They might be talking it out over here. I will use his Mewtwo. they're kind of practicing their movement here a little bit, and I Will was kind of giving them the smirks. You saw Anti doing some tech, giving a side smirk there. Got to try to intimidate the opponent right from the warm-ups, right? Get any advantage that you can get. All right, looks like. Oh, there we go.
He has locked in the Mario. That is his that is of course his go-to character. That is the character he finds himself always falling back to. Even in the times where he thinks he doesn't want to be playing Mario, he always finds himself back at Mario ever since Smash 4.
You can't separate yourself from your main. All right. Good play already. Attacking that percent. Good follow-ups here.
This is one of the things that's really difficult for Mewtwo in this game. When he gets hit, it's a lot harder for him to diffuse the pressure compared to Smash 4 because that air dodge is so much worse than it used to be.
I Will using the maximum length of the tail there, just trying to keep Anti at bay, but Anti all over him here.
Another thing, of course, that's scary is Mewtwo's very, very fragile up smash. Not enough to take it just yet. Down it again, barely off the mark, but up air near the top of the screen was more than enough. Only 71% on Anti right at the moment.
Gonna have to mix up those options when coming down. Anti ready for it, keeping the pressure on. We got here. Nice, cute little mix-up there. The side B to the forward air.
Oh, but look at the up airs. Unable to fully capitalize, but that down air into the up air. Tries to read the air dodge right there, but a little bit off on the spacing is Anti. And now, what is the ledge trap? What's the edge guard? Doesn't punish the teleport on stage. He tried to go for a grab, but didn't turn it around. And now, I will able to take Anti's first stock. Still stuck in this corner. Oh, that was a very, very important jab for Anti right there. Able to interrupt the Shadow Ball release.
How are we going to see a return to stage? Just rolls on there. Back to the ledge, though. I Will find himself on the ledge quite often during this match. Anti, not afraid of pressure here. Yeah. Again, catching him in the air, clipping him, taking the second stock. I Will down to his last stock here.
Yeah, that whole sequence of the ledge by Anti was really smart. He kind of kept himself at roll distance. He was trying to put low commitment options to cover jump. We saw the down air as well. But right now, Anti on a rampage, not getting the sweet spot forward air that would have probably been the game.
And just right there, I Will almost running into Mario's forward smash. That could have spelled certain doom for him, but luckily they both missed. I Will still surviving.
Still barely hanging in there. Pretty much even percent, but full stock deficit for I Will at the moment. Again, just this ledge trapping from Anti. What a call out on that down smash. Able to catch Anti jumping right there. And now, final stock situation. Still really, really big deficit for I Will.
Let's see if I Will try to cover a little bit more of Anti's approaches. Rolling behind him, trying to go for those punishable moves, right, when Anti's right in his face. Not working out for him there.
At the moment, it feels like Anti is trying to read certain defensive options coming out from I Will, such as evasive rolls, but I Will actually doing a good job not giving them to him, holding on to stock for quite some time. Finally, he falls victim to the jump off the ledge, and Anti primed and ready with that back air to take the stock and take the game.
Yeah, I would say kind of falling a victim to, you're in the middle of strings, you're panicking, you want to get out of there, just air dodge, right? Air dodge, get out of there, but Anti catching almost every single one of them with the grab, continuing the strings, but I Will, as you mentioned, now going for less evasive rolls, less panicky options. I see where they're going. Kadosu. Well, oh, okay, I was about to say random. Feeling a little bit wild today, EVO Japan. All right, and Anti actually going Snake, and I Will actually going to Fox, a match we saw earlier here. Yeah. Let's see if I Will also has the mind to fight Snake.
Interesting of Anti to pick Snake from Battlefield when Mario is kind of known to do very well on these tri-platform stages, but doesn't seem to be affecting Anti at the moment. Great start, 84% tacked on, unanswered from I Will already. Onto I Will, I should say.
Okay, able to tack on a little bit of damage, but he's getting quite accustomed to that ledge there. All right, able to finally get back center stage, tacking on a little bit of damage here. Nice stream, but the drop is going to cost him that first stock. The up tilt. That deadly, deadly up tilt.
Didn't quite know how to maintain advantage in that situation, and as a result, he had to take a full up tilt to the face. And this advantage is continuing from Anti. Gets the back air, good tech. You see the main thing that Anti is kind of doing at the ledge. He's placing these grenades right in the corner just to kind of deter I Will from going for that neutral get-up, and that just allows Anti to cover other options more easily.
That was a great down tilt there, anticipating that I Will would drop down from that platform. Oh, up B, a little bit of wild there. Maybe he was afraid that he would fall off the stage. A little bit of a panic move there.
Either that or he was trying to cover that neutral get up in a bit of an unorthodox way, but finally gets to confirm into the up tilt, getting that first stock on Anti. I Will keeping this close and competitive. Again, he's just been playing from behind pretty much this whole set. He needs to find a big opening to create that big lead.
But right now, it looks like I Will's controlling the pace until the up tilt comes out. As soon as I say it, I Will. My apologies. Commentator's curse there. Still has a chance, though, learning the matchup here. Going in when Anti's pulling the grenades.
Lovely coverage right there. Had the grenade on the left to kind of force the roll to the right, and then just covered that beautifully with that down air.
Oh.
Good spot dodge right there. Didn't want to take any more unnecessary shield damage from that up B. Once again, just covering the ledge with that grenade, limiting I Will's options, but I Will making it back to stage and just trying to find this crucial hit in neutral, but not keeping an eye out for that C4 and losing his stock and the set for it. 2-0 to Anti.
Now, I have to say that was quite clever, actually. I was kind of watching the grenade fall down there. I didn't even realize that the C4 was actually falling. So I would have definitely fallen for the same trap that I Will did right then. Anti taking it over. I Will 2-0. Oh, it doesn't seem like I Will is taking it so well, kind of doing that pained face. Congratulations, Anti. Moving on. Up next, it looks like we have Wataru, and you might be quite familiar with Shiki. Well, I believe was my memory is failing me right now. I believe it's a Zero-Suit Samus? Or
yes. Okay. Zero-Suit, I definitely remember in Smash 4, a Zero-Suit player. I think he's still playing Zero-Suit in this game. A lot of Zero-Suit players have kind of stuck with her in this game. I know, not all of them, of course. Most notably, of course, Nairo, not playing as much Zero-Suit as he used to.
Yes,
but,
yes.
I believe Shiki is still a Zero-Suit main. We'll have to see in a bit. And I know he's also among the highest ranked on the Japanese power ranking, of course. Very, very strong player. Meanwhile, Wataru, who is Wataru going to play? Well, of course, we can take this moment to talk a bit about Zero-Suit Samus in general. That character, very strong in this game in a lot of different ways to how she was in Smash 4. In Smash 4, you know, she was all about trying to pressure you so that she can get that grab and get the early percent ladder to get the KO in that regard.
The ladder, I remember.
But in this game, she plays a bit more of a quote honest game plan where instead she's just focusing entirely on using her mobility, using her largely kind of improved normals. You know, forward air, definitely a better move than it was in Smash 4, being able to hit lower. The pressure that she gets from moves like neutral air and up air, back air, all incredibly strong. And just her ability to kind of play that very evasive long to mid-range game that people kind of get the impression of that this character is very aggressive, but I feel like she's actually very campy. She just does it in a very fast, exciting way, so you don't really notice it in the same kind of way. A lot of the time, Zero-Suit is playing a very sort of reactive, long to mid-range game where she's like, all right, come to me so I can just start pressing buttons in your face and pressuring you.
Yeah, I think I noticed that with, I believe, Yamanyon, who really favors the Zair and the side B. Yeah. And that's not something you saw all the time in Smash 4. So with the Zero Suit Samus that we're seeing in Ultimate, I'm definitely seeing, as you mentioned, the kind of more high-paced campy, right?
Yeah.
Just because of her mobility, you think she's not camping, but she definitely is camping. Wait until they approach, press the buttons. All right, looks like they're going to go ahead and fix their controllers, but it's, I think, the very famous, I should say, you know, fast fall, neutral air. Quite strong in Smash 4.
Yeah, such a flexible, rewarding move to use just because you get so much off of hitting it, and it's so difficult to punish, pretty much impossible. If she goes for the neutral air into a jab, that's fast enough to beat out spot dodge. So Zero Suit's ability to press you at that range is very, very strong. You've always got to keep an eye out for how she's using those pressure options. But meanwhile, of course, throughout the venue, we have so many other competitors competing throughout EVO Japan, as we mentioned right at the start. Almost 3,000 entrants for this tournament. It is one of the biggest Smash Ultimate tournaments in history. I think probably second over only to EVO last.
Yes, you are correct.
Last year, that's pretty nuts. Yeah, of course, the Shiki Zero Suit versus
Wataru Robot. Definitely one of my favorite characters in the game. That's how actually I picked up competitive Smash Brothers in the first place, was with Smash 4. And Robot I found to really annoy my roommates. So I was like, you know what? Picking this character. All right, but we're going to Pokemon Stadium here. Shiki we have with Zero Suit Samus and Wataru with Robot. And yes, this matchup, I believe, not so great for Robot. Previously, it was horrendous for Robot. Maybe now with the improvements made to the overall speed of this game and to Robot in general might be a little bit better, but Robot still remaining combo food for many characters in this game.
Yeah, Robot is definitely a character that was quite drastically improved in this game. I feel like you see a lot more of this character at the high and top level, a lot more representatives able to consistently perform with the character as well. So far, Wataru doing a really good job taking the lead, but that is a very punishable side B.
Sometimes you just gotta throw it out there to mix up the opponent, but Shiki ready for it, tacking on the damage. Oh, nice parry. Just get rid of that gyro right away. Don't want that covering any territory on the map.
Tried to cover both the neutral get up and the roll in with that down smash, but a little bit off on the timing. That down tilt as well. Such a good close quarters option for Robot right there.
Yeah, with the addition of that, we saw a lot of down tilt strings. Of course, those got nerfed a little bit. Oh, and the up B clipping Robot there. Just that last hit, last couple hits there.
Great anti-air coming out from Shiki right there. Now, this is the lead, but he has to still be careful versus the Robot. That is, you've got to watch out for that down tilt. You've got to watch out for the down throw in particular. Various other moves in the kit.
Shiki pretty good at getting rid of the gyro right away.
Yeah, making sure it's as little of a factor as possible is Shiki, because that move is so important for Robot's game plan as a whole. And look at this, we just see him just trying his best to maintain that mid-range, but finally falls into the clutches of the Robot's arms.
Definitely just ran into his arms there. Are we going to see the ladder? No, we're not going to see the ladder just yet. How is he going to get back down? Doesn't have all those great options to get back down. Got that big hurt box. Still off the stage. You're going to have to watch that gasoline, Wataru.
Shiki doing such a good job edge guarding at the moment. What a sequence! Just Wataru was so insistent on recovering really high right there, and Shiki was able to cover his evasive options at all times.
Got a little bit of that pride. Had to recover high. Should have gone low, but we'll see if Wataru adapts to that next time. Uh-oh. Damage.
Damage racking up.
Not able to escape it there. Got the gyro, throwing it off stage immediately. Wow, try to end it right there.
And the way Shiki's just placing his jumps as well, so magnificent, getting around a lot of Rob's tools, and just the way that this is snowballing in his favor. It's really difficult. Was that Fair one into the down B. That's not something that you see all the time, but what great awareness coming out from Shiki to get that confirmed.
Yeah, I don't even think Wataru was able to react to that in time. Like any sort of DI there, that was just quick and done.
Yeah, really good stuff. It was looking quite good for Wataru early on in that game, but Shiki just kind of, once he got that lead partway through, he just maintained it so well.
Yeah, and I definitely saw some panic options coming out from Wataru as well. Most notably, I think the Rob's favorite is when returning to the stage, just do the neutral air. Just do the neutral air. Of course, that is a punishable move, and Shiki was taking full advantage of that. Trying to go for the more obvious options is air dodge back on the stage when you get hit immediately. Shiki covering that option with the grab. Let's see if Wataru can break some of those habits and come back in round 2.
Yeah, it is tricky for the robot to kind of get out of disadvantage, particularly versus a character like Zerasu Samus. Typically, they rely on the falling neutral air, which is a little bit slow on startup in particular, and versus a character with jumps as high and fast as Zerasu and a fast up air to help those juggles. It's really, really tough. Now going to Town and City, hoping to get a little bit more breathing room. Make use of those, the gyro, of course, the robot laser as well.
I'm really liking it already. It seems like Wataru wants to keep that distance far away as possible. Just go in for the follow-ups here. The pressure off of the stage.
And the way that Wataru is already kind of focusing on the platforms and trying to cover them to the best of his ability. Caught the jump, but wasn't able to capitalize any further.
Oh. Unfortunate for there as well. The gyro not hitting Shiki. Unable to continue that string. Here we go again in that disadvantaged position.
That time Shiki kind of read the neutral air coming down, tried to space around it. Another great back air. Really sticky situation, but the platform coming at a perfect time, I would say, for Wataru, but Shiki immediately able to capitalize regardless and get that boost kick for the KO.
Just that knowledge, able to adapt to that so quickly. Here we go, Wataru here in the advantage of having Shiki off the stage, but already back to neutral. Here we go again, back off the stage. Let's see how Wataru is going to choose to recover this time. Watch those neutral airs.
Shiki is making it really, really difficult. Finally, the down smash connects and gets that first stock. 84% on Wataru, and that will be his second stock. Immediately answered back does Shiki with that boost kick.
I'm surprised Wataru went for that air dodge back on the ledge. He's been punished for that a couple times already in the set. Seems like this is kind of the panicky options.
I think he's being caught up in Shiki's pace at the moment. He's not kind of playing to the rhythm that he wanted to. We saw that at the start of the game, but he hasn't really been able to properly find his footing again, and now Shiki's just kind of running away with the set. Great grab right there. Again, just all this pressure in the corner.
See that some of Rob's moves have a little bit of that startup. Not able to get them out immediately. Shiki taking full advantage, pressing those buttons, keeping him off the ledge. All right, now is Wataru's chance. DIs it correctly. That was a dangerous situation for Shiki. Could have lost the stock there. We're gonna see the down tilt just to get some of the pressure off. Nice, I see Wataru trying to catch the landings of Shiki. Shiki, really a big fan of short hopping and full hopping, but that's unfortunately not gonna be enough for Wataru, losing 2-0. Shiki taking it over Wataru.
Yeah, it definitely felt like Wataru was finding his footing again towards the latter part of that game, but unfortunately it was a little bit too late by that point, and Shiki was just able to immediately come down from the Angel platform and just take that KO with the boost kick once again. So he will be moving on in the winner's side of bracket once again. Man, just these sets, I think, more than anything at the moment, they're really displaying the kind of creative gameplay that we come to expect from the talent here in Japan, the upper echelon players. Even these early sets, we kind of have a good idea of just a taste of what they're able to do.
Yeah, exactly. And we see, of course, a lot of the players that might be less known, but you can see that they're holding their own against these top players, these upper echelon players, as you mentioned. And that's all is very exciting to see. And I think everyone has something to take away from these sets. whether it's, you know, some sort of setup or some of these habits that you want to see broken. Maybe you're trying to get rid of some bad habits yourself. Now you can see right here and learn from these sets.
Oh, plenty to learn from all of these players. But coming up next, we have T, best Pac-Man in the world, another one of the top echelon players here in Japan, versus Robocopu.
Robocopu. Yeah, of course we have tea. This is like the tea that you drink, not tea, the Link tea.
This is, of course, yes, the Pac-Man tea. Currently ranked 12th on the PGR, 5th on the the Japan Power Rankings. So as we know, an incredibly strong player. He was, of course, one of the best Pac-Man players in Smash 4 as well. But this game has really played favor to him. The way that he plays Pac-Man has translated so well in this game, and he is such a worldwide threat, such a worldwide presence.
I believe that he plays quite high in a recent tournament. Was it Let's Make Moves, if I'm not mistaken? Was it that? I could be mistaken. He did place in top 8 at a somewhat recent U.S. major.
It may have been Let's Make Big Moves.
I could be wrong there. I remember seeing him there. But also T, a kind of bright personality as well. Very personable. Going up against RoboCop. See what RoboCop can also bring.
If RoboCop doesn't play Rob, the robot,
yeah,
then,
I'm gonna feel a little bit betrayed there.
Alternatively, you can play someone like Captain Falcon, because Captain Falcon kind of looks like RoboCop.
Yeah, it looks like a cop character, or maybe Fox. Fox is basically a cop in space, right? Kinda.
Or like Samus.
Oh, you know what? Oh, there you go. Yeah, Samus would probably be a lot better there. But you just don't know with, you know, this massive roster. Also, the Japanese names kind of mixing you up.
Yeah. Not just the Japanese ones, pretty much anywhere. You know, you get some player called YoshiFan276, and they play Lucina, and it's like, okay,
that's not what I expected. Yeah.
There's always the curveballs. Yeah, it was Let's Make Big Moves. He managed to get 4th at Let's Make Big Moves.
Okay.
So, yeah, obviously T, as I mentioned before, an incredibly strong worldwide presence. Places very highly at a lot of international tournaments as well as tournaments here in Japan.
I have to go ahead and put it out there that Pac-Man is definitely one of my more difficult fights. Any type of fight where there's some sort of mental fortitude involved is the death of me. So
it's tough.
Yeah, against the zoners, the heavy projectile characters, such as Pac-Man, they're very tough. Very difficult. It's like playing a bullet hell game, like Toho. All right, we're going to Pokemon Stadium 2, PS2. Let's see Robo. Okay, playing Fox. I guess I called it right there.
One of our handful of options right there. But I know, of course, T has quite the set count, the overall set advantage versus Light from the US. Not to say that, of course, Light kind of plays his own brand of Fox, but T definitely knows how to fight this character.
Yeah, again, that top level practice, especially on an international stage. Probably playing a bunch of other Foxes in the other tournaments as well. So he's going to have the overwhelming advantage here. Just the knowledge of the character. Oh, already stomping his way to victory there. T taking that first stock, going deep for it.
Tried to punish potential spot dodge, up throw into the up air. Good air dodge right there. Now, T's punish game with this character is so tricky. It's really hard to tell what he's trying to go for in a lot of these instances. He's just so clever with all of Pac-Man's tools.
I thought maybe he was going to approach from the air there. Using the fire hydrant. I wonder if he was trying to go for a fancy setup there, kind of throwing that strawberry right towards the water.
Yeah, true master of misdirection, and that is a great trade for T. 2-stock lead for him versus a Robocopu.
Trying to get any advantage here. That
Unfortunately, not the best grab in the game, whipping there, allowing Robo to tack on a little bit of damage here.
Great forward smash, but actually the water from the Hydrant might have saved him because it pushed T a little bit closer to the center, to the other side of the stage. But finally, Robocop getting his first stock on the board. Great grab right there.
Falling right into the grab. That was the hard read. Man, it's just, T makes his character look fast. Trying to cover all the options, running circles around Fox, one of the fastest characters. And again, going for the stomp. Maybe recovering low. Might not be the best idea against T. Seems like he has quite the confidence against a recovering Fox.
Yeah, just T at the ledge that whole game was just such a terrifying presence, because we saw if he tried to recover parallel, he would get caught by the forward smash, but when he tried to recover low, that down air was there to greet him, and just all the other offstage shenanigans made it really, really difficult for Robocopu to get back onto the stage.
Yeah, that side B, if you're going to have to cover parallel to the stage, you're going to have to space that absolutely perfectly.
And I think the other critical thing throughout this match is that Fox as a character likes to overwhelm you with his speed, but more importantly, he overwhelms you with his frame data just because his buttons are so fast. But Pac-Man, despite being like a long-range fighter, you know, he has the bonus fruit, he has the Hydrant, he also has quite a lot of fast buttons in general. He has that neutral air, he's got the forward air.
The up B.
Up B, the forward tilt as well. A lot of kind of solid close quarters options, which actually make it kind of difficult for Fox in those situations to box against Pac-Man, surprisingly so. Interesting trade right there.
See Robo's approach here. He's going to have to be careful. There you go. Putting the Hydrant down. Using it as an extra projectile. I wonder if Robo is going to try to use that against him here. He seems to be ignoring the Hydrant a lot of the time. Watch out for that melon. You do not want to get hit by that. Going low.
Going real low. Takes the stock trade. The absolute confidence from T right there.
Definitely the best situation for Robo there. T not afraid at all. Still continuing to go in. Those back airs. Oh, here it comes. Are we going to see some amazing strings here?
Not quite. Maybe a little bit too high percent to get the double Galaxian follow-up right there. Ooh, still getting that grab, that grab box active for so long. Really, really difficult to even evade that grab at times. What a blow-up from Smash 4.
There you go. The Hydrant helping out Robo a little bit, helping to get T off of the stage, but the recovery too strong from Pac-Man, able to make it back. What's the Bell gonna do? Z dropping it, not able to get it in time. Just the amount of grabs this man is landing. T.
Just the absolute confidence ball in this scary situation. Commits to trying to attack him off stage. You never want to do that versus Pac-Man. When he has the Galaxian in hand, you just want to give him the space, leave him be, because otherwise you could potentially get caught by a big punish. Again, I believe Galaxian is out, but he chooses not to go for it right there.
All right, getting that extra damage. Is this, Robo here would try to go for, a neutral air of sorts just to get that small advantage, but it seems to be trading a lot of the time, and he can't afford to be trading at this moment. But the coverage on that with the Hydrant, absolutely clean. I'm not sure what he could have done to get away from that situation. Maybe go low as it usually does, but we saw T absolutely confident in following up with Fox off of the stage. So unfortunately, T taking out, Robocop 2-0.
Yeah, T's just kind of his overall presence of mind and the way he kind of funnels you to force you into certain options is so good. And particularly in that game, we saw T kind of force Robocopu to jump into certain situations, certain positions that made it really, really awkward and allowed T to get those major openings.
Congratulations to T. Up next, we have Gact here versus VV, and I think Gact is also one of the, more flair. He has a little bit more flair in his playstyle with the Ness, using the up B to finish off his opponents just for the style. Also, quite a big content creator here in Japan, surprisingly. A lot of the Smash players, they do go to other platforms. There's a plethora of streaming platforms here in Japan, and a lot of them resorting to the other ones, but Gact also one of the more popular ones.
Oh, okay. That is something that I didn't know. I do know that, of course, he is another one of the top-ranked players in Japan. He is 29th on the current PGR and 24th on the Japanese power rankings. So that top 30 in particular for the Japan power rankings, I know that they released that very, very recently. Those guys in particular are incredibly, incredibly strong, and some of them haven't really even had the chance to travel outside of Japan, but it's just kind of a testament to the overall level of ability, the level of play that you get in this country.
Yeah, I think a lot of people say when they come to Japan that the average level of Smash here seems to be a little bit higher in comparison with the other regions. Of course, you know, Japan's scene might not be as big due to the overall size of Japan, but the pool of players here is very, very strong. I think also the online is quite good here in Japan. I think also with the internet infrastructure and also due to the size of Japan. So online is a legitimate way to get better at the game. I think it's a legitimate way to get better at the game anywhere, but especially so in Japan. And we also have the Japanese ladders, the Smamate as well. We have the Japanese ladder system, which is quite easy to use. And we have seen in the past a couple of Japanese, net monsters that come to a tournament for the first time, and they would absolutely stomp, and no one would ever hear of them just because they only played online.
Yeah, of course, that's kind of how Ron, the Yoshi and Mario player, that's kind of where. That's kind of his domain, the Wi-Fi, just because he's part of, he's from quite a secluded part of Japan, if I recall correctly, right?
I think he participates also in the Western Japan. I think Fukuoka, was it Shurabra? Shurabra, I believe. I think you can see Ron there from time to time.
Generally kind of difficult for him to attend offline tournaments. I know there's also YB, the Samus player.
Yes.
Very known online presence who's been to a few offline events as well.
I think that's also the thing about Japan is, Tokyo is so condensed, right?
Yeah.
All the events are in Tokyo, and everywhere else seems like it's the countryside. But, of course, we got Game 1, Gact versus Vivi. Vivi going for Daisy here. One of my favorite characters to watch, just the absolute technical skill that you need to play Peach and Daisy. Definitely amazing to watch.
Yeah, definitely among the higher execution characters in this game. When they're played incredibly well, they are an absolute joy to watch. Of course, Umeki being the premier Daisy here in Japan, but that isn't to say that there aren't others.
Yes.
Oh, the stage spike, missing the tech is Vivi right there, and the first stock already going to Gact. Not even 50 seconds into the match, 40 even.
You're going to have to, especially be careful with that in Ultimate. Just these moves, sometimes you get hit and you fly at an awkward angle, and you end up hitting the stage even though you believe you're not going to. You tech too early, and unfortunately it's too late. You're going to have to pay attention, be on your toes at all times here. Such a fast-paced game.
With the pressure so far, making use of that side magnet and the quick down tilt. Tried to get the up B as you mentioned before, just a little bit off.
It. Already trying to style this early in the morning.
It's not even lunchtime yet, and he's already trying to get rid of Vivi.
All right, but Vivi here putting a little bit of pressure here. Nice catch with the neutral air at the ledge. Very common we see that tactic amongst Daisy and Peach players. Very, very strong.
Quite risky in that regard, in that position, just because there was a risk of trading with a Ness PK Thunder right there, but the confirm into the back throw.
That drag down so strong. Gact also a huge fan of that.
Yeah, one of the most notable changes of Ness in this game. He had a single hit up air in Smash 4, which was in of itself an amazing move, but this new one is strong and different in its own right.
Opening up a lot of chances to get that huge damage for those long, long strings. Okay, nice use of the down B there to get off me, relieve some of the pressure. Follow up with that back air. Watch it.
Yeah, it feels like it's quite tricky in general for Vivi to play neutral versus Gact, just because he doesn't know if Gact's going to go for that rising magnet so that he can intercept the float. He doesn't know if he's going to kind of pressure him quickly with the down tilt to cover ground level. It's really, really difficult for Vivi to get down, and each mistake that he makes costs him dearly. Look at these PK Thunder juggles, not allowing Vivi to get back to the ground.
Try to end it right there with that down smash. And go, wait, nope, that's not enough. Not just yet. How is Vivi going to get back from this? Able to recover center stage. Gact again at the disadvantage. Switching places here. Not able to get any hits, but the drag down, not confident.
There's the grab. There we go.
There's the back throw.
Yeah, interestingly, didn't get that the grab after that drag down, as you said. Probably not confident in actually hitting that confirm, but Gact still able to take that game very strongly. Solid 2-stock coming out. Now, where will Vivi go in exchange? What does he need to do in order to kind of get himself back on the board?
You know, I feel like sometimes against Ness, it's just, you're going to have to really learn the opponent, because up in the air, Ness is just, he's got so many options. It's just so tricky. And I feel like a lot of the time if you approach without thinking, he's just going to get those long, long strings on you, that huge damage. So you're just going to have to adapt to Gact. Let's see if Vivi's able to do that in game 2.
It might also be a case of trying to use those turnips a little bit more liberally, get the space, create a lot of distance between you and Ness so that you can take out those turnips and just keep him away at all times. Because Ness isn't the fastest character in the world, so he does have a little bit of a hard time forcing his way in versus those kind of long-range game plans.
See, we saw one turnip so far. Let's see if Vivi pulls out more, but really opts for the aggressive options here.
Oh. Trying to wall with the back airs now. Again, good turnip, just not quite able to get the confirm. But he's keeping this relatively close against Gact. Good grab, forward throw off the stage. What's going to be the edge guard? Doesn't commit too hard.
That's another thing that you have to watch out for, Ness. Those PK fires, definitely coming out of nowhere. Those smart angles from a player like Gact.
Vivi getting that first stock, and I do think the extra space of Kalos has made a big difference. Unable to challenge that up smash with the turnip, unfortunately. And now taking all this damage, 57 off the single juggle,
and he's gonna go
into the PK Thunder, and that'll be that stock vanishing in a matter of seconds.
He had to get it once this set. Gact had to get it. There you go. You saw, ladies and gentlemen, with the up B. Now let's see BB turn it around here with a combo of his own. Oh, that drag down so strong. That down tilt coming out so fast from Ness. Very difficult to punish.
Difficult to punish, difficult to react to. By the time one down tilt's come out, you've only just about reacted to the end of it, and Ness has probably grabbed you by that point. Oh, gets a tech, still hanging in there. But this is a huge lead for Gact. We'll start off as a very kind of even, close back and forth between these two in this game. Gact has just absolutely run away with this, and now it's looking rather bleak for Vivi to make this comeback. Ooh, the Stitch face is in play, and now it is gone.
He kind of just threw it out there. Maybe a little bit of a panic, didn't realize it.
Still, though, he does have the stage control.
Let's see what he does here. Oh, and
takes Gact stock. Very, very nice. Still in this is Vivi. 118%, but the back air will be more than enough to take the stock and seal the set for Gact. Moving on once again, 2-0 in EVO Japan 2020 brackets.
R2G Gact, congratulations. BB just not able to really keep the pressure of Ness off at any time there. Just Gact too strong. And I think fallen for, almost every single PK fire, if I wasn't mistaken there.
Yeah, a lot of those PK fires were making their mark. Ness can be rather ambiguous with how he places them, because he like double jump cancels the PK fire to make them hit earlier and at more awkward angles than you would think. You know, he has kind of all this diagonal space to hit with the move, as well as the horizontal on the ground to punish spot dodges in particular. And of course, he just racks up so much damage using that move as well, just gets so much started for the character. But yeah, great showing overall to Gact right there. And coming up next, of course, we have another one of Japan's titans here in Shuton.
Shuton from Fukuoka, more west side of Japan there. Shilabra, always attending those. And we got DT Pazzi here from Australia.
Ooh,
so it's our first international match on the stream here. Okay, this should be interesting.
Second, we had our anti-match.
Oh, that's right.
This is our first Australian player
Thank you.
on the stream right now. And Australia is definitely one of the regions that we don't see as much of.
Yeah.
You know, they have a couple of major events here and there. I know BAM in particular is their major event. But aside from that, we don't have, I guess, too much data on the Australian players in general. But again, another one of those regions that cannot be slept on. They do have their share of hidden talent. I mean, the #1 player is one of their best players, of course, Ben Gold, the King K. Rool player, one of the best K. Rool players in the world, I think is a fair assumption to say. Definitely able to make waves, so it'll be interesting to see how Pazzi does here versus Shuton.
Yeah, Shuton, I think best known for the very, very aggressive Olimar. We did see a little nerf on Olimar quite some time ago, and I think we saw some people kind of start to stray away from Olimar due to the hitbox increase on the helmet, but Shuton staying faithful.
Yeah, he has been on, I haven't seen Shuton play in Brawl, but I know, of course, he was the best Olimar back in Smash 4. And of course, he's still up there in this game as well, playing alongside the likes of the Buzz, Myron, and other talented Olimar players. 13th on the current PGR, 4th on the Japanese power rankings versus Pazzi's PazX's Palutena. Apologies, it seems like the tag was a little bit incorrect on our end, but of course Palutena, such a solid, well-rounded character in this game. Can't really go wrong with her. Though in this matchup, you know, she does have a little bit of a harder time versus the smaller characters. I said though, strong start so far for PazX.
Yeah, I think the Pikmin will be able to stuff out any kind of long-range tactic there. You saw that neutral B just get completely eaten up by the Pikmin that was already on her wand there. So Palutena may have no choice but to go in or be very, very smart with the long-range, you know, side B with the snipes. As you saw there. Oh, not able to clip it though.
Really low. That actually might have helped Shuton get back to the stage more easily, just because of the angle that it sent him at. He was really, really vulnerable down there. Down air probably would have been the best play if he could hit it, but still able to make it back.
Nice. A little bit of a descent there just to mix up Palutena. Not able to snipe him off the ledge there.
Good grab coming out from PazX. Not able to take the stock just yet. Shuton keeping his Pikmin in line to get the 2-frame. Very even game. One blue grab or a purple down air. It's going to be enough, but now look at the lineup coming out from Shuton. 2 purples and a red. Very, very hard hitting already.
Oh, again. Oh, I thought he was going to get it again.
Not yet.
Okay. We got PazX here going in for the grab. Is he going to be able to get anything off us? No. So smart for Shuton to use the whistle and get that armor at the last minute, saving his stock there.
Again, using the larger hitbox of the down smash, the yellow down smash to get him off the ledge, and a great snipe with the purple side B. Look at all this damage that Shuton has tacked on. The momentum is completely in his favor. Even if he loses his stock here, he's in a pretty good spot. Great read in that air dodge as well, and Shuton is just absolutely running away with this. Are we going to see a potential 3-stock? PazX really needs to find this stock, but Shuton is just not allowing anything.
Have to get back to the stage. No, the whiff grab is not going to help you out there. Back on the ledge. What's the option?
He's still stuck on this ledge. He hasn't been able to find center stage in what's felt like a solid minute or so. Finally clips him with that up air, but look at the deficit. Look how much damage Shuton was able to tack on in that entire sequence. Another down air hits his mark. Shuton is just absolutely in control.
PazX is going to have to get real familiar with those techs in order to save his life over at the edge, but no, that's going to be it for game 1. Shuton
a little bit
taking over PazX there.
A A little bit of an overcommitment with that dash attack at the end. You've got to respect that super armor on the whistle. It comes out as early as frame 2. It's even faster than an air dodge. So it's one of Olimar's best pressure relief options, and it's something that everyone really has to play around, particularly at the higher levels of play.
But especially with these, higher level players, you just never know when they're going to use it. So he just knew that, he's going to overcommit with the dash attack there. So you definitely have to go for the grabs to counteract that. But let's see if PazX here learned a little bit from his first match against Shutong. I was really liking the fact that PazX would use the side B to cover the ledge on his descent, to just give him a little bit more breathing room so that Shutong couldn't throw the Pikmins from all the way across the stage to help cover the ledge when he couldn't get there in time. Let's see if he's going to use a little bit more of that to stuff these Pikmin.
Going to Town and City this time, mainly trying to focus his gameplay on the platforms. Olimar's kind of a very ground-based character. He doesn't have the best tools to kind of challenge you vertically on those platforms. He kind of just has to stick around that ground level and fight and scrap there. That said, though, of course, Shutong once again with this lead. Fortunate trade for PazX, and another snipe with the purple Pikmin.
There we go again with the whistle there. That helps Shutong get out of the situation, but luckily for PazX, there was no extra percent to be tacked on at that moment. But now, as we can see, already lapped him in percent, 75% on PazX.
Damage from all of these Pikmin aerials, and just kind of isolating the solo purple at the moment, knowing that it's going to have so much firepower, but now the purple has perished.
Just the skill of Shutong, knowing which Pikmin is up in front, what to do. Quick decision making with the blue there. Nice grab.
Another good up air coming out from PazX just to relieve that pressure, but it's not enough at the moment. And another forward smash to take that stock. Another big 3-1 stock lead for Shutong.
Overcommitting on that grab. Perhaps he thought he was going to use that armor once again, so decided to go for the grab rather than the dash attack, but unfortunately already had that covered with Shutong. I think he already fooled him with that once. I'm not sure if that's going to work on him again.
Look at this, just pretty much a full 2-stock lead for Shutong at the moment. This is looking very, very bleak. Tries to go for the ledge trump, but PazX able to avoid it. Have we had a 3-stock yet on stream? I feel like we haven't.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we actually had one yet.
Could this potentially be the first one if PazX isn't able to get the stock? It is back air coming through for Shutong, taking that in very dominant fashion. 3-0. Very, very nice. That Olimar, incredibly strong, incredibly scary. Definitely something to look out for in the later parts of the bracket.
Yeah, just Shutong. Unfortunately, I believe that he was just, far outskilled there, unfortunately, in that situation. You knew when to use the armor on those moves, and also every single situation that I found that PazX might have had some advantage there. Shutong able to turn it back into his favor almost immediately. One of the situations in particular was when Shutong was in the air and PazX was trying to follow up, but immediately just would fast fall to the ground and follow up something.
All right, but yeah, that was quite the block. Even though we're starting from, of course, round 1 pools, just the level of talent that we're seeing is rather impressive. Even from the players that are losing, we saw a lot of 2-0 sets, but I think a lot of these players that we saw still do have plenty of potential to progress further into the bracket.
Exactly.
All right, well, that will be it for us for this block. Make sure, of course, to stay tuned for even more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate action. Don't go anywhere.
See you guys soon.